Hi everyone, welcome to the next section of this lesson, which is the continuation of how to use Ansible loop with examples. In our previous lesson, we looked at what Ansible loop is, we looked at how Ansible loop can be used, and in this lesson, we're going to look at the step-by-step guide of how to use Ansible loop in Playbooks with examples. So we're going to start with looping over a simple list, and then we're going to loop over a list of hashes or dictionaries. So let's start with looping or iterating over a simple list. Ordinarily, if you need to create 3 users in a playbook, what you will need to do is to create 3 tasks with the user module. So for example, to create a user 1, you're going to have to create task 1. To create a user 2, you're going to have to create task 2. And to create user 3, you're going to have to create task 3. But with the use of loop, you don't need to create 3 tasks. So let's see the step-by-step guide of how to do this. As usual, we're going to go into the Ansible directory because this is where we have our Ansible configuration file. And in the previous lessons, we've been creating different playbooks and we stopped at my 6th playbook. So let's create another playbook. We're going to call this my 7th playbook. Alright, so here we're going to create a playbook and we're going to create 3 users with the use of a loop. So to start, of course, we're going to give the play a name. So I'm going to say create new users. So we're going to do this in hqsdev1.technic.com, and variables, I'm going to have to create variables. So I'm going to call this variable new users, and under new users I'm going to have I want to create the user Kende and the user Alex and the user Owen. So here I'm going to have the task section, and here under the task I'm going to give the task a name. I'm going to say create new users, and I'm going to use the user module. The argument is going to be name. So I'm going to iterate over a list of items. So this is going to be, item. Like we mentioned that items are the list. Items are the list you have. The list you have under a variable. It could be under a variable or under a file. So item is every single value inside of a loop. Alright. So here I'm going to have another argument which is state. I'm going to say present, and I'm going to have the loop keyword. You can see that the loop keyword is directly under the name of the task and not an argument. So indentations, like I've always said, matters. So the loop keyword should be directly under here, under the name, under the module, and not in the argument section. So loop is going to be new users. So I'm going to iterate over new users. I'm going to loop over new users. So that's why I'm having users here. So now I can save this playbook. And let's do a syntax check, which is Ansible playbook, my 7th playbook dash dash syntax check. So you can see that everything is fine. We don't have any issue. So now we can run this playbook. Okay, so alright, that's fine. You can see that the users have been created in hqsdev1.technique.com. You can see the items Kennedy, Alex, and Oyin. If I log into hqsdev1.technique.com and I do etc password, so you can see that the users have been created, which are Kennedy, Alex, and Oyin. Alright, so you see the way we used loop. If we're supposed to, okay, let me show you the playbook again. If we're supposed to, create 3 tasks to create these users, imagine that you can imagine how this playbook is going to be long, and it's also going to be stressful. You wouldn't want to go through all of the stress. Imagine you want to do something that is as long as this. So loop, that's where you should use loop. Loop in Ansible is very important. You can always iterate or loop over items, over a list of items. You can also write this playbook in this way as well. So if I edit here, so in task section, I can just erase this. I'm just going to erase this. So I'm going to remove the vars and I'm going to leave this as task. And here I'm just going to have the loop keyword. And the loop keyword, I can just say Kennedy, Alex, and Oyin. So if I do my playbook syntax check, you see that this is fine, and I can also run the playbook. You can see that this is fine. So this is green because there are no changes made. So let's look at how to iterate over a list of hashes or dictionaries. So for example, let's create a playbook. Let me call the playbook my 7th or my 8th. Let me just say 8 PIGHT 8 play, or let me just say play 8.yml. So here I'm going to create a name, give the play a name, and I'm going to say add users to group, and here it's going to be host hqsdev1.technique.com, and here is going to be task, and I can say name, add users to their groups, user name, so I can have item.name, groups item dot groups and I can have the loop keyword, so I can say name Kende groups will name Alex groups finance name Oyin groups finance. So which means that the names this candy is going to be added to the will groups, while Alex is going to be added to the finance group. Oyin is also going to be added to the finance group. Finance. This can be useful when items have two values. In this case, we have the value user and group. So this is going to have to pass an array of dictionaries and to iterate over the list of users and groups. So if I save this file and do Ansible syntax check or playbook syntax check, sorry, so that's going to be Ansible playbook play 8 syntax check. So this is fine. Let's run this playbook. Alright, so we have changes already. We have changes and this is okay. You can also write this playbook in JSON format. So this is the JSON format on how you can write this playbook. As usual, I'm going to be dropping the link to this particular link in the description section below, so you can all easily click and navigate through. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how to run playbooks conditionally, on how to give conditions to when a playbook should run or not run. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share, like our videos. Bye for now.